don't have sound?
We have sound!
We do have sound?
Yes, we have sound. We have video.
You look stupid.
You don't look nice. That was a mean thing to say.
Shut up, Steve Beef.
That's inappropriate. Welcome to Geekbeef, Ep.02. Glad to be back with you. Hope you enjoyed episode 1. I'm Steve. This is...
Wait, who are you?
Andy. Steve Beef.
There it is. And I'm Andy Beef. Welcome back, friends and compatriots,
Hopefully
to Geekbeef.
Hopefully you enjoyed our first episode going over the MCU, which is probably not that divisive of an episode overall. I'm thinking this episode will be the divisive episode as we talk about something that everybody apparently hates and loves all at the same time. Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I love Star Wars. I know you
I love
Star Wars.
I know you Star Wars love me.
You Star Wars, I
love Star Wars. Star Wars is the best.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of all Star Wars, the expanded universe that no longer exists, the video games, Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, my favorite video game of all time, Knights of the Old Republic.
Game.
Yeah.
And even the current universe is good with its ups and downs. Yeah. So let's discuss it and talk about it.
Absolutely. Star Wars has been one of my favorite things since I was a kid. I got to see the original trilogy in theaters in the mid-90s when they released the special editions. Because I was born in 85. You were 88?
87.
All right. So, we both got to enjoy it. Slightly different times. I was almost a teenager. You were still, younger.
I was
kiddish.
A little kid when episode 1 came out. My mom took me to see it, and it was friggin' awesome.
So, your experience is more... And this is something we could talk about later, obviously. But we've talked about this at length in just a regular conversation. But your experience is a lot more with the prequels. Mine with the original trilogy. Being my introduction into the Star Wars universe.
The original Star Wars was my introduction.
Was
I watched
it?
them growing up all the time. Not in the theater, but on the VHS videos I had. The originals.
Oh, the original
even the special editions. I didn't even know there was special editions.
Yeah. The special editions, they were special to me. Yeah. Looking back on them.
They have their fun parts.
Yeah. I've yet to actually see the originals. The original FX kind of stuff with, the model TIE fighters and
sounds like I need to break
Falcon,
out my VHS
all that
player.
stuff. Yeah, I know. I really want to see it. I think I owned... Remember when they did the special edition release of the DVDs and it came with... I had that and I never watched them.
Yeah.
I only watched the special editions. It was just a different time. But anyway, let's get into the topic for tonight. We're talking about Star Wars Episode 9, which is scheduled to release December 20th, 2019. But shooting has begun on the film. And there's already just news swirling around, especially...
And bajillions of new actors and famous stars joining the gang.
Yes, which raises the question... Why? Why at this point, going into what is going to be the very last episode of this trilogy, and what they're saying is the last of the Skywalker saga. So 9 episodes of Skywalkers. They're introducing a lot of new characters. What does this mean for the future? And let's just kind of go down the line of some people that we've seen added recently. And nobody bad. It's
all great actors that everybody loves.
Yeah, people that are great. First off, we have Kerry Russell, who's Felicity. Yeah, I'm glad we both went to the exact same thing, Felicity. She was in, Mission Impossible 3? The very beginning. What else was she in?
I don't remember that. I just remember Felicity.
She
randomly
Homeland.
shows up and stuff.
Yeah, but she was I think that was the biggest thing lately for her was Homeland. And I never watched it. I just know that. Yeah. Why? I don't know.
And then there's Matt Smith from Netflix's Crown,
Seriously?
There's other things he's in too, but I think that's his big thing, is Netflix Crown.
Yeah, not the 11th Doctor. My second favorite of the Doctors.
Doctor Who? That's funny.
Anyways, we have good rapport with one another. Anyway, Dominic Monaghan, who's Mary from Lord of the Rings. I think he was in Lost.
Yeah, he was in Lost.
I never watched that show.
Yeah, Lost was good.
Was it?
For the first few seasons. And then I lost my interest. Oh,
gosh. I just made that connection, too, because that was a J.J. Abrams TV show, and now he's going to be in J.J. Abrams'
He's bringing
movie.
all of his people in.
Yeah, I saw this girl brand new to it, and she doesn't really have a lot. I was looking at her IMDb page, not a whole lot of acting credits to her name, Naomi Aki, who was in one episode of Doctor Who, an episode I didn't see. But she played Jen on Doctor Who, but she's also going to be a brand new character in the show. Richard E. Grant, who I think you probably know better than I do. He looks like he's going to be an Imperial officer. Yeah. If I was going to guess, just based on his look, he looks like Grand Moff Tarkin. Yeah, off the bat.
He'll be a bad guy for sure.
Yeah, there's no question.
Or the Empire, if you just don't consider them bad.
Yeah, these are all brand new people but they're going to be part of the trilogy. And then obviously the one that's, well, it's not obvious, but the one that's being added that I think we're all excited about.
Billy
D. Williams is being added to episode 9 as Lando Calrissian.
Which it doesn't even matter. It's just like, bring him back and we'll be happy.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I hope he comes back and he, like, maybe he'll avenge Han Solo.
I would be more happy.
And shoot
Kylo?
In the face.
That's messed up, man. I want redemption for Kylo. It's not going to happen. Redemption? But no, it's the one bummer, okay? Because they've brought back and basically killed off every main original trilogy character.
Well, they haven't killed them off yet. I mean, the ones you expect that would have been killed off somehow survive.
Who are you talking about?
Carrie Fisher. I mean, how many times did she come close to dying in episode 9? And then she's the only one that survives.
You're talking about Last Jedi?
Yeah, in episode 8.
Yeah,
like the whole time you're like, is this gonna be it? Is this gonna be it? She's doing the Mary Poppins.
I didn't want to see her go.
This is gonna be it.
Yeah. I definitely didn't want to see Luke go.
Right, you totally expected it to go the other way. So it didn't go quite as we had thought it might.
No, not as we anticipated.
Luke says.
Let's save a little bit of Last Jedi and just talk about this just for a couple minutes of why in the last episode would you bring in this many characters. Well, and the nice thing that I've seen is Benicio del Toro has not been announced for this movie yet, so we won't have to put up with DJ for another movie, which is really nice.
Well, it wasn't so bad. Like, he was kind of one of the more interesting characters in that little story arc from episode 8.
I think we just need to unpack Last Jedi.
But, in regards to, like, all these characters, they're coming in, but Star Wars is it's not unfamiliar for them to bring in so many people for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Are they just going to be random little people that show up, like Simon Pegg was in episode 8, which was great. I mean, he played a great character. He was a small part, but he was there. We had James Bond with...
Oh, yeah, Daniel Craig was in...
Daniel Craig.
He's a stormtrooper.
Yeah, he's a stormtrooper that shows up. So, like, are these people going to be just small parts that'll show up and randomly in the background? Like, you won't even know they're there. What's his name?
Simon Pegg.
The kid from Looper, and he played Robin type character in Dark Knight.
Oh, you said Looper, and I went to Jumper, and I'm like, Hayden Christensen. No, Jumper. We're talking about, oh my goodness. Why can't...
Here we go again.
Not this again.
No.
What? He's got 3 names.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Billy D. No. Haley Joel.
It's not Haley Joel.
No, it's not. No, it's definitely not that. I was just saying that. Why can't I think of his name?
This is sad. Why don't we just
look it up while I talk about this.
Wow, this is like the worst because he's just...
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. There you go. We'll edit that. Yeah, I mean, who's the other character? The guy that plays, came up in episode 8. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He showed up as the one guy from the beach scene. He's one of the aliens. You would never know it was him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was a bit. But here's the difference, though. They weren't announced.
Right.
They just showed up. They just showed up, and then you found out later on that they were in these cameo, sometimes extended cameos, but for the most part, just cameo cameos, right. like very short. They're announcing these pretty far out, which would lead you to believe that they're going to be larger parts. Not necessarily. I mean, this is pure speculation at this point. We have still a year and 3 months until this movie's even released for us to even find out anything. I would be surprised if Matt Smith, because I don't know. It's kind of an odd thing with Matt Smith because I love Matt Smith. I think he's a great actor. I love everything that he's in. I watched The Crown with my wife. I've watched.
Oh, he's going to be in
Doctor
Imperial.
Who. You think?
Oh yeah,
He's going to be Imperial officer?
You can see the cut of his jib. Look at his faces.
The cut of his
jawline.
Yeah, I can definitely
he'll
see
be an
that.
Imperial officer. But I'm curious of how far they'll take it. Like, are they bringing in these people?
Yeah.
For future Star Wars films to pick up where Episode 9 is going to leave off.
And that's the big question. What is the next trilogy supposed to be like? And is the next trilogy in this series going to be the one that Rian Johnson is supposed to be directing? And and we're getting characters introduced now that are going to be a big part of that are going to be central to that.
Right.
Is this just, hey, it's the last one, let's throw everybody in there kind of deal? Who knows? I mean, I think what we're getting offered here is something amazing because they're good actors. I'm most excited about who Kerry Russell is going to be playing because I mean, obviously the early speculation is Mara Jade or a Mara Jade like character. Is she going to be Rey's mother? The long-suspected mother of Rey, because I think the big shock is it's gonna be Luke's daughter. All right, come on, like we all know it's going that direction.
Who knows?
I
don't even know what
Skywalker trilogy. It's gonna be she's gonna be a Skywalker. It'd be dumb.
Kerry
if she
Russell?
wasn't. No, I think she's a Jade.
Yeah, well.
No, she's gonna be a Kenobi.
A Kenobi, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's like Ben had a daughter at some point.
Obi-Wan. Kerry Kenobi.
Kerry Kenobi.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it's nice alliteration. Who knows? It's
at this
frustrating.
point, I have no idea where they're taking this.
Yeah, it's frustrating because let's talk about The Last Jedi a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we are on, I think, opposite sides on Last Jedi. I don't hate Last Jedi. I actually really enjoyed Last Jedi. I would say it's probably in my top 3 Star Wars movies, and that's right behind Empire, which is, I think, almost everybody's favorite, and then the original Star Wars or A New Hope, whatever you want to call it. And then I loved Last Jedi because I liked that it was a refreshing take on the Star Wars universe. We weren't getting more of the same, which is what everybody wanted after Episode 7, because Episode 7 was such a rehash of A New Hope. Last Jedi comes out, and now we're being given something that will take this universe in a new direction, and people still complained. I liked the majority of that movie. I thought the majority of that movie was really well done. I thought it might be the most well shot Star Wars movie of all time. Outside of Empire, this is probably it. I mean, it has some of the most iconic scenes, and let's just get this out of the way. The Finn and Rose scenes were awful. Like, that whole storyline, there's nothing redeeming about that storyline. It was just a way to shoehorn Finn into that movie, and I liked Finn as a character up until this movie. Yeah. And I feel like they could have done something completely different with him, and I don't want to get into speculation time because I don't want this to become like fan theories or whatever. But I liked how it was done. I thought it was well made. I thought a lot of the ideas were a great take on the Star Wars universe. Did it have its flaws? Absolutely. Do I think it's deserving of all of the flack that it gets? No. I think it's I'm sorry. And this is the part where
you don't have to apologize.
I get really frustrated
because it's okay to be a fan of what it is and the differences.
I love Star Wars. I deeply love Star Wars. I'm not a big fan of the prequels, especially Episode 2. So when people start ranking the prequels above something like Last Jedi that was well made, well executed, well acted, to like those green screen just messes that are the prequels.
It was 1998. They were testing new technology.
It was 2001 and 2005, or 2002 and 2005 as well. Yeah. And I always go back to this. Jurassic Park was made in 93, and it still stands up pretty well. That's my frustration. I think nostalgia obviously plays a massive role in the Star Wars universe, obviously, because Last Jedi was so divisive that it's clear that nostalgia plays an overwhelming role in what makes people decide what is good and what's not good. Because I'm sorry, you cannot say, like Attack of the... I shouldn't say it like that because I just sound like a mocking.
No, I like
people.
it. Do it again.
Attack of the Clones is better than The Last Jedi. There's no comparison. Last Jedi is far better made, a far better made film than Attack of the Clones. I mean, no questions asked. The acting's better. The cinematography is better. The storyline is better. There's nothing about Attack of the Clones that is better than Last Jedi. Now you have.
Is it my turn?
Please.
All right. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. This goes back to the deepest parts of the expanded universe. I've read every single book. And coming into episode 7 was difficult for me because I'm a huge fan of what I know from the books with Han Solo and the Princess Leia's twin children, Jaina and Jaden Solo. But when episode 7 came out, I thought they did a great job of bringing these new characters, a new story, and a new way of everything into the mix. Sure, they followed a lot of the same things that came from A New Hope, but it worked well, and it felt like classic Star Wars, which was a big thing away from the prequels. That was fantastic. We loved Rey. Rey was an amazing character. She was huge in episode 7. Like, we loved Rey after episode 7.
Absolutely.
Just her relationship with Han Solo, with Chewbacca, with Finn. They made a dynamic, fantastic duo. Kylo Ren, he was developing throughout 7. You know, that moment that he takes off his helmet, and you're like, oh, he just became a really weak villain. But at the same time, he grew onto you and caught on to, like, what he is as a character. Episode 7, I loved episode 7. It was great.
Yep.
Episode 8 came out, and it's not horrible. I don't hate it. I don't hate episode 8. I have many problems with it.
Yeah.
And I can't fully judge it until I see what they do for episode 9, which I know it's not the same director. It's all coming back to J.J. Abrams to finish it off. But I'm curious what he'll do to finish it off. But with episode 8, we had Kylo Ren as this incredible character that they grew throughout episode 8. Like, he was super interesting. We loved Kylo Ren after episode 8.
Yes.
I feel like they pulled Rey's story away from things a little bit and focused more on Kylo Ren and his development, which was fantastic.
Yep.
The Force connection between Rey and Kylo Ren was just one of my favorite things throughout Star Wars. Like, they built that connection, but in my mind, that's because of a relationship. Anytime we see something like that in Star Wars between Luke and Leia or Luke and Anakin, Darth Vader, it was always family, that they connected that way.
Yes.
So I'm on the point of still assuming that somehow Rey and Kylo Ren are somehow family and connected. Who knows? You know, but then we go into other things throughout episode 8 that just bother me. Okay. I mean, I'm okay with a lot of things. They did a lot of changes and it was very unexpected. They made sure we were aware of that in the trailers. This is not going the way you think, you know.
Yeah. You're referring just to the Luke line. Yeah, itself, yes.
And then throughout the movie, they do everything that you totally didn't expect. The second Rey shows up on the island with Luke Skywalker, you see she hands him the lightsaber. I'm assuming, he's going to pull, and he throws it over his shoulder. I'm like, he's going to pull the crazy Jedi Master thing that Yoda did to Luke Skywalker on Dagobah. And then you go and you see the X-Wing and under the water. I'm like, Rey's definitely going to go over and have to use the Force to pull it out of the water.
And that's just normal movie, like, storytelling is if you introduce something in Act 1, it's going to come out in Act 3. Right. But go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, it's cool because I was assuming, like, I was following what happened with Empire, you know? Because they did that with Episode 7 where they pulled so much from it. And that made a lot of people happy, but also made a lot of people angry. But again, they were all things that I'm expecting to happen. And none of it went that direction at all. They made so many changes and differences. Again, not all for the bad, but not all... I don't want to say all for good either, because, I mean, a lot of it was good. They're creating a new future for Star Wars, and they're trying new things, and that's things I can accept. Things that took time for me to accept after watching it a few times. Snoke. You know, he shows up. You expect to get some backstory. Who the Sam Hill is, this Snoke guy. We still don't know.
Yeah.
Chop him in half and he's gone. Oh, sure.
Do you think he's gone?
Still be alive.
Yeah, okay.
He's got to be gone. I mean, there's no point in having him around anymore.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of red herrings that they've thrown, but
yeah.
in episode 8. But continue, and then maybe we could debate this a little bit.
But they just kill him off, and that bothered me at first. But then I realized, I went back on, Empire Strikes Back. We have the introduction of the Emperor, and we don't know anything about him, but he's there. There's not a lot of backstory, even into episode 6 with Return of the Jedi. We still don't know too much about the Emperor. We didn't know until 20, 30 years later when episode 1, 2, and 3 came out.
That was our true introduction to the Emperor. But that's what made the Emperor really intriguing in episode 6, was that we didn't know him at all.
Right.
I didn't need all the backstory.
But that's again, that's where I defer back to my love for the prequels. But we'll get to that.
Okay.
And again, like you said, with the whole story with Rose and Finn throughout episode 8, it was just this whole side story that had no point in being there at all. There's no need for it. Which is unfortunate, because I loved Finn throughout episode 7 and his connection with Rey. Like, they made a great duo.
Yeah.
And they pulled that completely away to bring in this Rose character, which, no offense to Kelly Marie Tran. She's not a bad actress.
No.
It's just they brought her in as this stupid character that nobody really cares about or has any interest in.
And that's the shame of it all, is there was nothing that made you root for her in that movie.
Right.
Because the storyline that they gave
her.
Well,
I was rooting at the one point, expecting her to die at the one point, and then they didn't. And
you wanted her to die?
Oh yeah, totally. I was totally
but for what purpose? For what point or purpose, though? Well,
she even ruined Finn's big moment. He was going to sacrifice himself to save the rebels.
Yeah.
He was flying in. I'm like, dude, you got this, Finn. Go for it, man.
You think that would have been the redemption story?
Oh, absolutely. He was going straight for it. He was raised as a stormtrooper. He was coming back to say, this is me giving up my life to save these good people, And she comes in and blasts him out. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
And gives the worst line.
Oh.
What was that line?
I don't even remember.
Something about saving the ones you love instead of killing the ones you hate.
And it was just, to
nutshell.
me, that was just silly the way that the whole thing went. Then we get to Luke Skywalker. Luke was awesome. I love Luke Skywalker.
Mark Hamill's just always he's the most lovable guy in a movie. In the movie. Yeah, he's just awesome Luke, Yeah. Even with the comical parts he put in with Rey when he's teaching her some things. Yeah.
Sure, they took it a different direction, but it was okay. The whole Jedi projection was pretty cool at the end. Unexpected. I wasn't expecting that. Again,
that.
Again,
I thought we were talking about something different.
No. When he projects himself at the end of the movie, it was different. It was a surprise. It was cool, but how much cooler would have been if he just actually went in there?
Would have been there.
And, all these things shoot at him. He stops them. It's like, this is the Jedi Master. He is.
Why couldn't he just been there?
Yeah.
It didn't even look, it looked like he had just for men gel. Freshly applied to his beard.
He projected himself as his young self that Kylo Ren remembers.
Because
when they went back, because that's the way Kylo Ren remembers it. He was trying to reach him, He was trying to reach out to him. But again, he should have just been there. He should have walked out, seen all those walkers standing there, and went, "Voltage!" and just crushed them all into a big ball.
Yeah, that would have been more fun.
And then had his fight with Kylo Ren.
Yeah. And like I said, the movie has its flaws.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things we kind of got to address is everybody's got their own idea of how that movie should have gone. Overall,
we don't know anything. We still know nothing about this movie. We have no idea what happened. We don't know anything about Snoke. There was no development there was development of a relationship between Kylo and Rey.
Yeah.
But the whole scene with Rey going into the pit and then going to the ice cavern and...
you mean when she, snaps and...
Yeah.
The thing?
Yeah, the whole thing. Luke went into the cave on Dagobah.
Yeah.
And he learned something important.
She learned something important.
What did she learn?
Her whole her whole existence up to that point was trying to figure out who her parents were so she could figure out if she was of importance. And that whole projection was to say that that's not the important part. You are what's important. You are what's central to this. Stop focusing outward so much. Focus on who you are. That was the whole point.
It was a complete waste of time.
I thought it was
there was
nicely
no point
done.
to it. It was dumb. You know, we're all expecting her to go in there and find out who her parents were. They want you to think that's what's going to happen.
What annoys
and they
me,
take it all the way into like, psych.
What annoys me is the fan community that's out there that's like, Kylo said at the end that her parents aren't anybody, so her parents never matter.
I like your community voice.
I'm sorry.
They're all going to be super
I
offended.
love you. I love the Star Wars fan community because I'm part of it. You know, I think there's just that brotherhood there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But clearly, in that moment, he's trying to make the point, or he's trying to pull her away from rejoining the rebellion, or what are they called? The resistance.
The resistance.
The resistance. He's trying to pull her away from that, and so they can combine forces, so she can feel like she's part of something. But she goes back in her mind to that time when she was down in that cavern, and remembering all she needed to know was that she has the strength to be everything she needs without relying on who she came from.
Sure. Well, that's sweet. Well, that's not anything I ever thought about or put it to or even considered it from. But sure, that adds some dynamic to your pointless Rey in the cavern scene. But there are good things.
That was beautiful, though. That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, Yoda was fantastic.
Yes,
like
perfect.
Oh my gosh, the puppet. It was like straight from Empire Strikes Back.
I love that.
Back.
That part was fantastic.
Such a moment, amazing moment.
Total fan service, but it's the fan service that you love.
Yeah. But it was important too, because he thinks that he's destroying the Jedi textbooks.
Who is?
Well, Luke thinks that Yoda just
destroyed
all the Jedi
Luke
textbooks.
thinks that Yoda's doing it, but Yoda already knows that they're gone.
Right. And then the other moment, the other heart-touching moment, Luke Skywalker getting together with R2-D2 again, and he does his whole "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi." I'm getting goosebumps now because it was fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really small things that were just
moment.
fantastic in that movie, and
Yeah.
I love it. Even up to the point of the end, you have the children from the scene in Canto Bight, which again, that whole scene was complete waste of time. They should just took it all out and did it somewhere else. But at the end of the movie, they have the kid come out.
And I love that part.
It was fantastic.
That was a great
movie. That's like all of us.
Because I would venture to guess that this next movie is going to be a pretty decent time jump.
Yeah.
I'm guessing at least 5 years are going to transpire.
Well, before we get to that, the kid comes out, he uses the Force to grab the broom. Mm-hmm. He's got his ring for the Resistance now and everything. And you see that, but then you also see that Rey has the Jedi textbooks that she took from the temple before Yoda went. And lightning struck it and blew it out. So, like he said, that was my original thought: is how far I feel like they're going to make a time jump to Episode 9. Like, how far of a time jump will it be? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? I don't know, but they set it up for a new generation of Star Wars. Yeah. And that's something I'm excited for. They can take that somewhere.
Yes, and that's what I'm most excited about, that we are...
It just scares me.
Entering into... But it has to happen. Like, we have to let go of the past.
Yeah, then they make a whole point of that throughout.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing. We have to let go of the past so we can enjoy the future. Because if we focus solely on the past, we're going to live in that always. And that's the one thing... The one question that I think we should talk about is the Star Wars fan community ruining Star Wars? Because I think we all have what we want to happen, but why can't we accept what is happening?
Right.
Because if it's up to us, we're going to just live in the Skywalker era forever, and I'd love to see what happens in the future without the Skywalker family name as central. I understand that, it's been this space opera revolving around Luke and Anakin and Leia now for 40 years. Yeah, and I'm glad that I've gotten to be part of that in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But for my kids, I want them to have characters that they can cling to, and it can be fresh for them, and they can grow with those characters. and then their kids. I know we're getting a little bit farther, way far down.
But
the
the
line.
Star Wars, we know.
But I want to see
it's going to last.
I want to see Star Wars last, like we're seeing right now with the MCU. The MCU, and we talked about this last week. I'm not going to talk about it long, but we're seeing something that's going to last, I think, a long time.
Yeah.
Because they are building, and they are going to let go of past characters and move on to the next.
Right. Well, they have to.
Generation. You have to.
I mean, people are passing away.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to move on, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I said, my thoughts of Episode 9 and the future of Star Wars, that gets me excited. Even with the downfalls and the things I didn't like about Episode 8, I still get excited for Episode 9 and all the other future Star Wars stuff they have planned. It's just Star Wars is in my blood.
Yes.
I grew with it. I love it. And I can't wait to see where it goes, you know?
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I mean, it's part of who I've been since I was a little kid. And I don't want to see it end. I don't want to live with
Even
9...
with the prequels, Steve?
I just said 9. I don't want to live with just 9 episodes of something for enjoyment. I want to see the next 3 and then the 3 after that. I want to see this go beyond my expectations. And I'm fine with somebody else telling the story. And I think that's the problem that a lot of Star Wars fans have is, like you said before, the expanded universe was so important to so many people. This is not a knock on it. I never read the books. That was not part of my...
I don't think most people did, and that's what it is. Even most Star Wars fans, I don't think most Star Wars fans
they have a
even
passing
read
knowledge
these
of it, and they accept that as canon.
Right.
And then they took away... Disney said, okay, that's not canon anymore. We're going to go with our own thing. And I was totally fine with that.
Right.
I've been a Disney fan my entire life as well.
Yeah, go Disney.
Are they the best? Disney plays it safe. So they're not going to go anywhere crazy, and I'm fine with that. But I don't think everybody's okay with that. And you might, watching this video, you might say to yourself, I'm not okay with that. That's okay. Here's my point. If all we do is complain, we're not going to get anything. They're going to, because if we boycott, let's talk about Han Solo here for a second. Everybody's like, oh, it's Han Solo. How could they recast Harrison Ford? And then Alden Ehrenreich or Richard Bevenda.
Yeah.
He did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Was he Han Solo? I mean, or was he Harrison Ford, like caliber Han Solo? No, he wasn't. Was he charming? Yes. Was he witty? Yes. I enjoyed it. Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, Han Solo definitely had its ups and downs.
That Solo movie was...
Yeah,
but
Lando was awesome. Chewbacca was Chewbacca. I mean, you can't really screw up Chewbacca.
Was it a good movie? Yes. Was it a great movie? Absolutely not. I'm not rushing out the... I think this is going to be the first Star Wars movie that I don't buy, like, right off the bat. I'm probably
going to wait. It's a side story.
It's a side story. But it was a side story that was, like, trying to build up to a trilogy of its own. Like, and that's what they signed on for, was supposed to be 3 movies. I don't think that's going to get made.
No.
It's just... But
it was fun to see them try new things.
People were already predetermined how bad this movie was going to be, and then nobody went and saw it, and it wasn't that bad. And guess what? Now we're not getting any more of those movies, and they could have probably improved upon them.
Thanks a lot, guys.
And we would have had more Star Wars movies. And we should just be appreciative that we live in an era where they're just cranking out the movies that we love. We're not going to get the stuff that we necessarily want and what we think there should be, because we all have our own ideas of what it should be. We're not going to get that. We should just be happy that we're getting something.
And if you don't like what they're getting, then maybe someone else does, and you got to appreciate that.
Yeah.
We can't all like the same things. We've all got our own opinions. We're very different on our way that we look at episode 8, but we're also super excited for the future.
I want to see episode 9.
I mean,
you want to see episode 9?
I can't wait for episode 9.
Yeah, exactly. So what else did you have? You had some other stuff going beyond.
Well, we can talk about, like, it's not only the next 3 Star Wars movies. Yeah. Rian Johnson is signed on for 3 Star Wars movies.
Yes.
Is this going to be the next 3 movies?
Yeah, and that's the big question. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows if this is going to
be future. Is it going to be past? As much as I'd love to see
it's not nice to
Star Wars based in the Old Republic.
Yeah, he already said it's not that.
Well, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, he already said it's not going to be Knights of the Old Republic, which was like, that was a little deflating. It was talked about. He did say that they did talk about that. That was discussed, but that was not the direction they ended up going in.
Are they going to go for a Force Unleashed type storyline? It's kind of in mid-Star Wars.
In the mid-Star Wars.
You know, it could be something happening that's during the time of the Empire.
Do you think it would?
I can see them taking a trilogy movie based in the center of Star Wars, in this world where they think that the Jedi are all gone. Luke thinks he's the last Jedi, whatever. Well, maybe there is. Maybe he's not. Maybe there's a whole group of people that say Ahsoka Tano was off training, teaching, developing under a new lore for the Jedi. She left in the Clone Wars series, the animated series.
Yeah.
Ahsoka Tano was a huge character, but she left the Jedi Order and went off on her own. And that follows into Star Wars Rebels, where she's continuing to teach new things, but outside of the Jedi Order, So could there be another group of not so much Jedi, but of new Force users out there in the galaxy developing throughout this time who could come in and have their own side story,
I guess my question would be, what would be the benefit of having? And I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No,
I'm not.
absolutely.
I'm not saying that's a bad idea. Just playing devil's advocate. In the grand scheme of storytelling for the Star Wars universe, what would be the benefit of having something take place that would have no consequence really on the overarching storyline that is going on at that period?
Who freaking knows? Nobody knows. There's nothing. I mean, we have nothing. So
yeah, but do we want more of stuff?
I don't know what we want.
That's like, because use the example of Rogue One. Rogue One's a great movie. I don't know if you.
No, it is a great movie.
I think it's a fantastically
very well done.
made
It's a great side movie.
I don't feel like the stakes were that high in that movie.
Well, no. And
it was cool to see what happened, but the stakes aren't high.
I was
so
excited for it because it was expected. You knew where it was going. Like, we all knew that story going into it, but seeing it take place, seeing them take footage from the original A New Hope and bringing it in, it was just really cool to see that.
That was really cool.
But again, it had no real bearing on affecting Star Wars.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, and I think what you're talking about would be interesting. I would love to see what happened with the Jedi.
I don't know if it would be interesting.
But it could be really it could be made interesting.
Yeah.
My point is, if we're going to talk about the future of Star Wars, let's just stick to the future. Yeah, and then go forward with it. I mean, here's the cool thing that could happen if they did do Knights of the Old Republic. Or something in that era. We're going back. Was it like tens?
Just thousands. I think it's like 1,000 years.
It's not longer than that.
Pretty sure Knights of the Old Republic is just 1,000 years before.
I thought it was like way longer, but it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is it's so far in the past that it still brings excitement because you don't know necessarily what to expect. Right. And it's not going to have any bearing on what takes place 1,000 years in the future. You know what I mean?
But you can also see them doing something like, oh, here's how the Emperor was raised.
Why?
But nobody's going to see that.
I don't want to see that.
But again, that's what scares me, is you don't know what they're going to do.
I don't care about Plagius.
And we don't want to see that, yeah.
Or, did I even say that right? Plagius? Sure. Plagius?
No, you're good.
Doesn't matter. I don't want to see it.
Plorthagus.
I don't want to see that. I don't think it's that necessary. I know a lot of the prequel fan community, that's like their favorite part of the Star Wars, wants to see Sheev Palpatine in his teenage years.
I've seen enough.
Yucking it up. I've seen enough.
I've seen enough in the prequels, and I'm happy with what they did with his character and his development. But like Steve Beef says, I think for the future of Star Wars, I hope they can pick up where they're leaving off.
Yes.
Even if it's not based on Rey and Kylo Ren, I hope it might be based on what they're going to develop in Episode 9, and then have another time jump into the future even, or even bring Kylo Ren and Rey into it, or whoever might survive Episode 9, who knows?
Yeah, bring Rey in way down the line. She doesn't have to come in Episode 10
Jedi
or
Master
11.
Rey. Developing her new
she just shows
Jedi
back
Order.
up in 12. Whatever. She's probably going to end up sacrificing herself at the end of Episode 9 anyway. To bring balance to the Force. Whatever.
I mean, she hasn't lost a hand yet, so...
Nobody... Did anybody lose a hand in Episode 8?
Someone had to have lost a hand.
No, I don't think so.
Someone lost a hand somewhere in Episode 8. Wait, yeah. When they cut...
Snoke?
When they cut Snoke in half, he lost both of his hands and his body. So they were like...
So that was
three birds with one stone. They're like
counted.
left hand, right hand, and they chopped them in half Darth Maul style.
That's right, because his hands did get cut off.
So that counts.
Yeah.
So someone's got to get their hands.
But he's coming back.
No,
he's not coming I don't think so.
Okay.
We should have to eat something if he does actually come back.
Eat something?
We'll eat durian if he comes back.
I don't know what that is, so hey, let's do it.
All right.
Where are we at? How about Star Wars Clone Wars is coming back?
I don't. Okay.
You're not who Star Wars.
I don't know anything about Clone Wars.
I'm a huge Clone Wars fan. I'm excited for it. They're only doing a 12-episode finish of it.
Is that all it is?
Yeah, that's all it is. Just 12 episodes. They already came back and finished Clone Wars once with 8 episodes, but it wasn't quite all
that
the
was on
episodes
Netflix,
that
right?
Yeah.
And this is going to be on the new Disney streaming service.
Right.
Okay.
And now they're bringing in 12 more episodes to finally officially finish off Star Wars Clone Wars, which is fantastic.
What wasn't finished?
There's a lot of storylines. I mean, mostly Ahsoka Tano. Like, what happened to her? Where did she go?
Oh.
They tried to finish it. We know where she went in throughout Rebels.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Why
But
did they
how
have to
did
do
she
that?
get there? Nobody knows how they got there.
I see what you're saying.
Darth
Is that going to take
Maul-
away, though, from, like, the story?
I don't
Like,
think
if
so.
her just coming... Okay.
No, it'll add. To
I
it
don't...
for sure.
Like I said, I don't know anything about Clone Wars.
Dave
And I'm sure
Filoni-
I'm infuriating the Clone Wars fan base. Like, this idiot.
I'll talk.
I'm sorry.
Dave Filoni has done an amazing job with the Clone Wars and developing these stories and everything like that. It's just been great. And I look forward to see what he does.
Who's Dave Filoni? Is it the dude with the cowboy hat and all the
Yeah,
pictures?
the cowboy hat.
Hey,
The
cowboy hat
director.
guy. Good luck.
Yeah, he does great with Star Wars. So we're excited for that.
Cool.
Um,
I didn't know that was a... I mean, I knew that was a thing. I saw the trailer. When I saw the trailer... Because you texted me when the trailer came out. You're like, oh, dude, Clone Wars. I thought that was like an old trailer that everybody was getting hyped about. I'm like, what? So that show like ended like 8 years ago.
this guy. Okay, and then
Alright.
we have we're not even going to go back to Han Solo in the ending. I mean, they put Darth Maul in the ending of
That
it.
was the stupidest
It
part of
was
the whole
stupid.
movie.
Like, we love Darth Maul as a character. It was cool that they had Ray Park and Sam Witwer
Yeah.
both play Darth Maul in that part, which was really
Yeah,
cool
that
for
was
me to
cool.
see. I love that because I'm a huge fan of both of them playing that character.
The voice is way better.
Yeah.
Ray Park's voice was never intimidating.
Well, he never really talked, so
No.
we didn't really have much of a character for Darth
Yeah, it's
Maul
true.
then.
Yeah.
But again, it was just silly. There was no point to it. Like, it was connected to like
Yeah.
the Clone Wars
It-
and him leading the Black Suns.
Yes.
It doesn't really matter.
It was the worst part of the whole movie.
I think the point of it was to let people that aren't huge fans know that Darth Maul is still out there. Maybe it could pull them in and get them more interested. Google some stuff, learn about the animated series.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be something like that.
How-
Which is cool because I love what they did with Darth Maul in the animated series. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
and what I've seen of him in the animated series, in Red Bulls, right?
Red Bulls.
In Red Bulls. Yes, that one. I enjoyed it. I thought he was intriguing because I mean I'm like a movie
Old
fan.
Man Maul.
I'm a movie fan only. So yeah, I knew that he was still alive. I didn't know to what extent or anything like that. What? I didn't know. I had a point.
Yeah.
But
Don't point at them.
the one thing
They're pointing at you, Steve. You don't know.
that I didn't like, or that I thought was really obnoxious with the whole Darth Maul part in Han Solo was why did he need to ignite that lightsaber?
To show his powers,
That
he
was
was this Lord and still.
Insanely stupid.
It was all just dumb.
Yeah, why? Why? He can't kill her from there. Kira wasn't even that engaging of a character, so I was.
Did you call her Kiro?
Kira?
Okay, I thought you said Kiro.
Kiro.
Kiro Jenkins.
That's
All
her
right,
name.
let's move back on to the
terrible
final thing we have to
accent.
talk about:
What?
the Star Wars TV show.
That's not a thing.
John Favreau.
What's that?
What do you mean it's not a thing?
I didn't know that was the thing. What TV show?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You don't know that John Favreau is directing?
This is new information to me. Is this for real?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a TV, like an
Yes.
actual, or is this going to be
For
on
Disney,
the streaming service?
Disney streaming service.
Oh.
They're making a new
not
show
real.
for it. It's like the highest budgeted TV show series ever.
What's it going to be about?
Star Wars.
Oh,
What's it going to be about?
I know it's going to be
John Favreau is coming
Favreau.
in. Whatever is coming in to direct a Star Wars TV show. How do you not know about this?
I'm serious. I have not heard about this.
True story, guys.
But
John Favreau,
Favre.
John
Farva.
F is coming in. Happy Hogan is coming in to direct a
Monica's
Star
boyfriend
Wars.
from Friends.
Yes.
Yeah. He's going to be directing a Star Wars television series about...
They don't know yet. We don't know yet.
It's live action?
Yeah, live action Star Wars series. It's happening, whether you like it or not, Steve. Or
when does it take? No, we don't know when it takes.
No, we don't know anything about it.
Nothing.
Nothing about it.
Then what's the point?
They're still developing it. They're still talking about it. It's supposed to come out
Isn't
within
there
the next
another
year
like
or two.
Star Wars television series, like an animated one coming out?
Yeah, there's a new animated series.
What is that?
We're not going to get back to that yet.
Is that
we're still
BB-8
talking.
in
We're
that?
still talking about.
I'm starting
The
to sound like
live-action Star Wars.
I'm starting to sound like the worst Star Wars fan.
Anyway, so they're making a live action Star Wars series, which could be really cool.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many possibilities they could do with it with the Star Wars universe. Maybe it'll be based back in the Knights of the Old Republic times. I think that would be great.
I would buy the streaming service just for that.
Yeah. It would just be perfect because giving you the time that you can take in a TV show. I mean, you look at a show like Game of Thrones, you have so much time to develop the story over so many episodes. Whereas with the movies, you only have 1 to 2 hours to develop a story and characters.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with TV show, they have so much time that they can develop all of this. I look forward to it. And it's John, so he does
we know
typically good stuff.
I would say, I could say in all of that, anything given to Jon Favreau is placed in pretty safe hands. I mean, he did kick off the MCU in the right direction. So, with Iron Man. So, yeah, I'm all for it. I didn't know this was a thing.
It's happening, Steve.
Well, but this was, I mean, going back, what was it, probably almost 7 or 8 years ago before
they've been talking
Disney
about
purchased,
Star Wars animated series for years.
Or live action with, because George Lucas was talking about doing
live
that
action,
a long time ago. And it never really panned out because it was supposed to be something that didn't have anything to do with the Jedi or anything like that. It was just more of like
It was probably about midichlorians or something.
Yeah.
Or socks. Star Wars socks. Or maybe, I don't know. Anyway.
Holiday special.
Yeah. So, that's happening.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
All things to look forward to in the future of Star Wars. But this is what I would leave you with. If anything. Let's all agree to enjoy what we're given. Instead of complaining, it's easy to complain. It's easy to nitpick things. It's harder to find the good in what we're given. And that's why I would challenge all of you, and that's what we've had to do. Because, I mean, we could have really sat here and lambasted everything under the sun. But we didn't, because we are truly fans. We're big fans. Obviously, Andrew's a much bigger fan than myself, but...
It's okay.
I think in everything we really need to look at the fact that we're still getting Star Wars stuff. It's new, it's fresh takes on things. Let's just take it all in stride and enjoy and find parts to enjoy. Because like even with Last Jedi, there was plenty to enjoy. Episode 9 is probably going to be much better.
Yeah, the original Star Wars
for the fan community.
The original Star Wars series is gone. Sure, we're all fans of the original Star Wars series, but it's on its way out, and they're doing something new. You gotta accept it, and whether you like it or not, try to enjoy it and not criticize it for its downfalls. And also, don't be a turd. I mean, quit being mean to people.
Yeah.
Poor Kelly Marie Tran.
That's messed up.
Like, be nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be a turd. It's not cool.
It's not her fault.
And we like it. So
it's not like she wrote herself into that movie. We're fans. Not of your part in the movie, but we're fans of you.
I don't know what else
as
she plays. I don't know
as
what
a
else she
person.
plays in. So
I've never seen you in anything else.
yeah,
but I'm sure you're a nice person.
yeah, you seem like
you're not watching this video.
She might be.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Kelly. If you're watching this, we got your back to an extent.
I'll give you a high five when I see you.
Yes, high five. But if we could remove Canto Bite from the movie, we will. Anyway, for Geek Beef, I'm Steve Beef.
I'm Andy Beef.
We'll see you next week.
We are Geek
Geek
Beef.
Beef.